Aloha and welcome to Knitted Paradise, where the needles are clicking and the yarn is squishy. My name's Lucia. You can find me online as Pearl of the Pacific. I mostly frequent Ravelry and Instagram, so that's where you can find me. Please come join the Ravelry group. It's now up and going, and we have some people joining. So welcome to Naomi and Anne, who've introduced themselves in the From Your Holly thread. So hello, and yeah, Naomi is from Australia, so we've now gone international. So thank you. I'm so excited. And yeah, let's get started. So conch shell blows, which is the announcements. I've already kind of started them, so I figured I'd continue. Join the Ravelry group. We're going to have a giveaway when we reach 25 members. When I looked earlier, we had 11, so we're going up. Yeah! Join the group! And as you may have noticed, I am back at my apartment in my bedroom. Scheduling didn't work out because of vacation and all sorts of things to be back in my friend's office. So I'm back in my bedroom in front of the window, hoping that I will get a little natural light. I might open it up a little bit later. But yeah, actually, why don't I pull this up now? There we go. Get a little more. Pull the blinds up, hopefully. Sorry, I'm blue and my background's kind of orangey. We'll try it out. I'm figuring things out still. Anyway, we got a ton of snow yesterday. We got a huge snowstorm coming in. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw a video and a couple pictures. I think we got over a foot, which is pretty epic for around here. Last winter we hardly got any snow, and this winter I was hoping for more. I mean, I moved here for the snow, really. I mean, who moves from Hawaii to the Midwest? I did. Anyway, I really like snow, so I was really excited when it was snowing yesterday. So it was pretty exciting. My husband actually got a snow day off of work, so that was really exciting. Well, I did too, because we work at the same place. But I had already taken a vacation day because I had a few days left, and it's a use it or lose it thing. So I was like, sure, I'll take vacation, stay home. So that was pretty exciting to have both of us. So we hung out with some good friends of ours and had a great time. So that's my little week in review, I guess. Next, let's go to On the Island, which are things in progress. And I have a pair of fingerless mitts. Ooh, cat's making an appearance. It's behind me now. I'm using the Semplice fingerless mitts by Stacey Winklepleck. They're through Knit Picks, and I'm using Lorna's Laces Shepherd Sport in Mason and Silver. And I've used this colorway before for some fingerless mitts. So it's just a twisted rib. Can I back it up the colors a little better? It's blues and greens. But yeah, I've just separated the thumb, and now I'm working on the hand. And I'm going to do fingerless mitts and then add a flip top thing. So that's these. And those are for one of the owners of a diner that my husband and I frequent. We go probably once a week. Anyway, it's really good. They're really friendly, and it's right around the corner from where my husband works. And she saw me knitting one day. She was like, ooh, I like those mittens. Can I have a pair? And I was knitting on another pair in this color, which is why you've seen them before. And she said, ooh, I want a pair in that color. So I just ordered some more and started knitting. So finally got those on the needles. Those are in my Slip Stitch Studio bicycle bag. Maybe it'll focus? It's a flannel bag. It's really cute. It's their little sock size. And I have a matching needle nook thing with the little pocket for notions, which is fabulous. And ooh, these are my new needles. If you watched the episode right after I got back from Vogue Knitting Live, I told you about these. But they rotate, just like the signatures do. But they're made from wood that's locally grown in Michigan. So that was really exciting that those are kind of local needles, I guess. Pan, you cannot eat that. Pan, no. He knocked it off the shelf. I don't know what it was. He's trying to be naughty on the bookshelf over there. Anyway, next is I have a pair of little baby socks. They're so cute. These are, I based off of Cozy Little Toes. It's a little simple baby sock pattern by Judy Kaethler. And I just turned the heel on one of them. I'm doing them 2 at a time, like I normally do socks, toe up, even though the pattern's written cuff down. Pretty much always do things toe up, but I just turned the heel on the first one. So they're a little bit bigger. They're maybe toddler size socks. But they're out of some red Knit Pick Stroll I have left over from a pair I made for one of my really good friends. So I'm in the middle of doing the heel on the second one. I thought I'd take a break. Ooh, sorry, that was my phone. It's my mommy. What does she have to say? Ah, nothing important at the moment. I'll deal with that later. So these are on my new needles that I ordered from the Loopy U. They are Chiaogu red lace, so they've got the red cables. And I really like these. I like the cable. It's really flexible, but it's strong. It's got a little texture to it, which is kind of nice. The join is alright. I've had a couple problems getting things over it, but maybe it's just because my ends are really tight. I don't know. I mean, the corner thing. Sometimes I pull it really tight so that I don't create a ladder down the side. Anyway, I haven't any problem with them. So I like them. I got a set of size 2 and this is a set of size 1s. And I haven't used the size 2 yet, but I thought, oh, I'll use these for the baby sock. So I don't have that much yarn left over, so I'm hoping I have enough to at least do the, I know I have enough to do the heel, and maybe I'll switch to another yarn to do a short little cuff or something. But yeah, I started those yesterday and they're just coming along because they're teeny weeny. And that's it for the baby socks. Fresh Till Cowl is the other thing I have currently on the needles. That's actually the only pair of socks I have on the needles. It's kind of weird for me at the moment. And this is a new yarn that I ordered, so it's kind of from the mainland. It is Blue Sky Alpacas. Worsted hand paints, I think, and this is the Petunia colorway. The person asked for a watermelon pink or watermelon red. Let's see if it'll focus. Maybe. Anyway, you get the idea. That's actually very accurate for the color. It's very watermelon-y. And it's, I think 50% alpaca, 50% merino. And so I got 3 skeins of that because it's 100 yards, and I cast on for the Fresh Till Cowl, which is by Rebecca Fox. And I've just been knitting away. If you stretch it out, here, I'm kind of in the, you just knit in circles, but if you stretch it out, it's like stockinette, and then you do, you purl around, and then you do, like, it's free pattern, so I don't mind giving away. It's like purl 2 together, yarn over, and then you knit some, and then you do the same thing. And so then it'll be nice when it's stretched out. I just finished the second ball, which is why I have this one not attached yet. So that's going to be the next ball on. And I'm using my new stitch markers that I got for Christmas. I've got the little, you can get it there, little TARDIS. Ta-da! So I thought that was a nice contrast to the pink. So that's looking good. I'll probably finish that over the weekend. And that's in my Doctor Who bag that I also got at Vogue Knitting Live. That's it for on the needles. Yes. Set sail. I have a few things that have set sail. It's kind of exciting. The socks I was working on are done. Ta-da! They're big man socks. And let's see. This pattern that's on the leg is from the Little Dragon Socks by Lara Neel. It's got, maybe it'll focus one day. Anyway, it's a purple. It's a royal purple. It's not really coming out on screen. Maybe focus, maybe. I'm trying to talk nicely. Anyway, it's a very royal purple and black. And I did the pattern up the foot, and then I added one right around after the heel and did it up the leg, and then the rest is just ribbing. And I finished those on New Year's Eve. So I got them in right before the end of the year. So that was 27 pairs of socks in a year, which was kind of insane. And the other sock actually turned out a lot darker. There was a lot more black in it. It was kind of weird. Oh well. I showed them to my friend and he likes them, so that's what matters. So those will be going to him soon when I see him next. But I told him I had to save them. Show you guys. And yes, I finished a hat for my mom. This is Who by Sarah Amoroso. It's still a little wet. This is also a new yarn that I got. This is Skein DK in the quill colorway. And there's little owls there. The owl cable. It's just a simple beanie with the owls on it. And just different shades of blue. And I washed it earlier, so it's still a bit wet, but I have it sitting on a blocking board so it can dry out. And yeah, I knit that up New Year's Day. Yeah, because we had that off, so started it, I think, the night before. No, maybe I started the morning. I don't remember. Anyway, it knit up really quickly. I've discovered I really like knitting with big yarn because things knit up really quickly. I was just like, whoa. It's because I knit so many socks that knitting things in worsted weight is really quick. And I also finished a pair of baby socks yesterday. They're so cute! And this is from some scraps of Cascade Heritage, which is their sock yarn. And this is also the cozy little toes. I made them smaller, obviously. So yeah, they're just little ribbed socks. And you can fold them over. And then they're even more adorable. So I finished those yesterday and then cast on the red ones because I was like, they're so cute. And my friends we were hanging out with were like, oh my god, those are so cute. So I think I'm just going to knit baby socks with all my scrap yarn. It's great. They're so cute and they're so fast and they're great for scraps because I have tons of scraps that need to be used up. So these are Cozy Little Toes by Judy Kaethler? Maybe it's Kaethler. It's Kaethler. So I don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, those are going to be going to my cousin's little boy, who is almost a month old, actually. He'll turn 1 month on Sunday. Those are going to them. Put those up there. And, oh, I finished a couple of coasters for my friend that usually he helps me. Well, he has been the last couple episodes I've been recording in his office. He's gotten into tea lately, and so he has a lot of tea in his office, and I don't know why the color is going crazy. Sorry. And he doesn't have any coasters for his cups, so I knit a coaster. It's seed stitch on the border and linen stitch in the middle. And it's just a nice size coaster. I still need to weave in the ends, obviously. I knit that this morning. And I also did one in the shape of a leaf. Did not, it's a lot curlier. I don't know. It's in cotton. These are both peaches and cream, just plain cotton in white or off-white, I guess. I don't know. I got this yarn from someone who is moving and destashing a whole bunch of stuff, and most of it was acrylic and stuff, but there was this in there. I was like, oh, that might be useful. So it's kind of, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get it to, maybe I'll try and wash it, and maybe it'll flatten out, but you kind of get the idea. It's a diamond, but right now it's just rolling. Pretty simple, but I thought that might be nice for like a teapot. I don't know, we'll see if I ever get it to not roll. But those, and I just kind of, the leaf pattern, oh, let me look up the leaf pattern, because I did base it off. It's called Leafy Washcloth by Megan Goodacre. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I didn't actually download it because you have to, it's really weird, you have to like create an account and go through a checkout process, but it's free. I'm just like, I just wanted to download the program, so I just looked at the pictures and figured it out. It doesn't look that complicated. I probably did it wrong, which is why it's curling, but that's my fault. I'm gonna see if putting the blinds down, sorry, helps with the color. They're not totally down, but maybe. Anyway, let's see what's next. Flora and fauna. So we're going to talk about knitting goals since we just had a new year. Happy New Year, everyone. Today's January 3rd. It's a Friday. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that little interruption. I had to readjust the camera because it was like flashing and it's not good for anyone. So I've moved you onto a box onto the bed, and I will try not to move very much so that the box doesn't move. Sorry. Anyway, let's get back to our flora and fauna knitting goals for the year. Now last year I knit a lot of socks. I don't know if it was my original intention to knit a lot of socks, but it kind of just ended up that way. I love knitting socks. I'm kind of addicted to knitting socks. Naomi, who just introduced herself on the thread, hi in Australia, was saying how sock knitting and sock yarn is kind of addicting. It kind of is. It's great because you only have to buy one skein, so you can go somewhere and say, ooh, that's pretty, and you just buy one skein and you know you'll be able to make a pair of socks out of it, whereas other projects you need more than one skein. So that's why I find it really addicting. And so this year I decided I really want to knit sweaters. I've knit 2 sweaters for myself and 1 sweater for my husband. And the sweaters for me did not turn out very well. They were kind of knitting disasters. The first one, I was all gung-ho and I bought this really pretty silver yarn. I think it's Cascade Venetia, which is fabulous yarn. But it grows a lot when you wash it, which I had figured out. I did knit a swatch and I washed it and blocked it, and I did figure out that it grew. I just didn't figure out how much. So I got gauge and I started knitting, and I got to the waist decreases. It's a top-down raglan. And I got to the waist shaping and I was like, why would you put decreases here? It's like up here. I'm like, no, you don't put decreases up there. You put them down here. And so I decided that even though I'd never really knit a sweater before, that I knew better than the pattern. Bad idea. So anyway, I finished the sweater. It looked great. I washed it and blocked it, and the waist shaping was totally off. And it looked terrible. I loved the leaves on the back, and so I ended up ripping it out the other day. It was probably about a week ago. I posted pictures of all the ripped out yarn on Instagram, but I ended up ripping it out. I do intend to reknit that sweater because I really do like it and I would love to wear it, and I love the yarn. It had nothing to do with that. It just had to do with the fact that I do not know how to knit sweaters. And the second one I knit to wear to my cousin's wedding because she really wanted us to wear pink and coral, or other kind of colors in that family. And I don't have anything that color. And so I was like, I'll knit myself a sweater. So I went on Ravelry and I found someone destashing some great pink Dream in Color Smooshy. Not Smooshy. What's the worsted weight? I don't know. Whatever the worsted weight Dream in Color is. I got it and I knit up this great sweater. And it's like down to my knees. It's an open front cardigan, short sleeve. And I was just going to, because she got married in California. And so I was like, oh, it'll be great. So long. So long. So I ended up ripping that out at the same time as the other one. I may knit that one again with different yarn. I don't wear pink a lot, so I'll probably change the yarn on that. But I did like that sweater. It's the abalone sweater, I think. Anyway, I have bought a bunch of sweater quantities of yarn. And so my goal is to knit at least 3 adult-sized sweaters this year. Possibly more, knowing myself. But I bought the book Knit to Flatter by Amy Herzog, and I plan on going through that and really figuring out how to knit a sweater that fits me. And probably doing the same thing for my husband. His sweater turned out much more successfully, mostly because there's no way shaping. And he's a dude. So he's just kind of like this. I do have to do something with the neck because I didn't really follow the directions. It calls for a zipper, and he didn't want a zipper. He wanted buttons. So I did a button band instead of putting in a zipper, and it turned out a little too tight at the top, so I have to redo that. But other than that, his turned out rather well. But I'd still like to, knit him one that really fits him nicely. So, as you saw a couple episodes ago, I did get him some Cascade 220 in the Shire colorway to knit him another sweater. So I do have plans for that. And other than that, I don't have goals in terms of knitting things. That's my one knitting goal, is to really learn how to knit a sweater. I've got socks down. So my next step is sweaters. I figured they can't be that hard. Lots of people knit them. I just haven't. Sometimes I think I'm too smart for the pattern, which is probably not a good idea. I should probably just read it. It would be a lot better. Anyway, the next thing that's kind of under knitting goals is we're moving in a couple weeks. And so I've been going through my stuff and trying to organize it so that it'll be easy to move. So I started putting all of my stash, which I normally keep in 3 totes that go under my bed over there. They're in these like long plastic totes, and I have like sock yarn in one and worsted weight in another, and then like random acrylic and other stuff in another. But I've been buying more yarn that'll fit in those, so I've been sticking them in cubby holes in my closet. And so I started going through them and organizing them and putting them in all one big Rubbermaid tub. And I realized I have a pretty extensive stash for me. I know lots of people have like rooms full of yarn, and that is quite extensive. But for me, this is a lot of yarn. And I'm a project knitter, and so I buy yarn with a project in mind. Like when I bought this yarn, I knew it was going to my mom's hat. That's why I bought it. I didn't, I bought it with that intention. And so I have a lot of yarn for projects that I intend to knit someday. And I decided that instead of buying lots of new yarn for new projects that I don't have time to knit, I would concentrate more on knitting from stash. Now, this doesn't mean I'm not going to buy yarn, because of course I'm not going to not buy yarn for an entire year. That's never going to happen. So I made myself the promise that I will only buy yarn for one project a month. I'm not going to say one skein, because if I want to buy something for, you know, a bigger shawl or a sweater or something, I'm going to want more than one skein. So I said, you know, if I knit 2 or 3 projects worth a month, you know, let's say 3. I have, you know, knit an average of 3 projects a month. So that's 3 projects out and 1 project, or 3 projects worth of yarn out and 1 project worth of yarn in. So that's a net of 2 projects out. So I figured, you know, that'll help me control the stash. Plus, I had plans for all that yarn, and I really want to knit those projects. So, excuse me, not buying a ton of yarn will help me really get going on those projects that I really want to knit. I mean, I bought the yarn for them. So I'm really excited about that. A lot of things were put on hold because I got a big custom sock order. And so I was just knitting those socks instead of other things. I've decided that custom knit orders and projects as, you know, gifts and things like that don't count. Because, you know, those are things that come up that I don't always foresee. Well, if someone orders a thing, I can't just say, no, I can only buy 1 project's worth of yarn a month. You have to wait. That's really mean. So I've decided, you know, if someone orders something and wants me to knit it, then of course I'll do that. That doesn't count. So now that I'm done blabbing on about not buying yarn, why don't I show you all the yarn I bought at the end of last year? So we're going to move on to from the mainland. I did make an order from the Loopy U right at the end of the year because I was really close to reaching the Alpaca Club. They have a reward system. So for every $1 you spend, you get a point, and at certain point levels you reach certain rewards, or, you know, you hit the like Merino Club or the Cotton Club, or, you know, I hit the Alpaca Club. This year they've changed the names. It's the similar things, but so I hit the Alpaca Club and I got a project bag as my special gift. And this is a really cute project bag. It's plastic, so it's a little squishy. Haha, you can see me through it. But it says, I like taking a piece of string and making it into something I can wear. I thought that's really exciting. And it's big, so here, I won't talk behind the bag. It's big, so it'd be perfect for the sweaters that I want to knit this year. And it's got a little sheep. They're custom sheep. And theloopyu.com. So thank you. And all my yarn pretty much fit in this bag, so. Oh, hi, Pan. I didn't realize he was sitting behind me. So I got that, and then I got some yarn. This was one of the skeins. There's still more left over. So I can show it to you in the cake. I plan on making a mug cozy to go with the hat. Because my mom likes to go on a morning walk with her best friend and our dog. And, well, I don't know if the dog goes anymore. He's kind of getting old. And then she goes to Starbucks and gets her green tea frappuccino. So I'm going to make her a little cozy to go around the cup so she can go on her walk with the hat, and then, you know, slip the little owl cozy onto her cup and drink away. Because her birthday was Monday, so it's a little late, but that's okay. And then I also bought the pink yarn for the cowl. That also was in that order. And then I got some yarn for me. I had a gift certificate, or some store credit, rather, because when you reach certain point levels, you get store credit. So I used that to get some yarn for me. And I got a skein of another crafty girl, who I love. She's local here in Chicago, so that makes it even more exciting. And this is her strong sock, which is superwash merino and nylon. And this color is called the Lost Souls. It's a very pale seafoam green. It's a little more bluey than seafoam green. It's coming out really blue on screen, but it's actually a lot more green than that. But it's just a little tonal, lovely color. And I don't have a lot of tonal sock yarn. And so I decided that I'd get this for myself because I love this color. And then I can do some sort of texture or lace pair of socks with it, which isn't something I've ever done for myself. I've done lace socks for myself. I mean, everything has, most of my socks have lace in them because it's, you know, yarn over counts as lace. But, you know, some heavily patterned socks, because often my sock yarn is variegated, and so the pattern gets lost in the variegation, so I thought I'd get some tonal to knit something that's not variegated. Anyway, and then on the other end of the spectrum, I got some self-striping. I got some biscotti and C in self-striping base, I guess. And it says Potteridge A. And it's blue, and it looks like a purpley gray, and a very light lime green, and like a cream color. And maybe it'll focus. So yeah, it's perfect. I've been eyeing this for a long time. It'd been in my wish list for a long time, so I finally was like, you know what, in the cart it goes, mine. And I also had been waiting a long time for this, which is their solid series in black. As I mentioned a while ago, I'm designing some socks based on the Avengers, and I needed some black for Black Widow socks. So I've been waiting. They didn't have it for a long time. It's very black. And this is just 100 superwash merino, but the stitch definition's really nice, and it comes in a lot of solid colors, so that's why I chose it. And so that's going to be for those socks. I ordered another skein. Hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I edited that out because I had to get off the bed and on the bed, which means it moves. I got some Lorna's laces in Sportmate, which is merino and outlast, in the Sheridan colorway, and this is for a pair of Sportweight socks that someone ordered. They wanted shades of blue and very warm, so I got this in boot socks. They want boot socks, so that's why I went with Sportweight rather than fingering weight. So those are in my sheepy bag and ready to go. They don't have any needles in there yet, but they will soon. So those will be on the needles shortly. And that's it for new yarn. Yeah, and I showed you the project bag, so that's it for my order. On the horizon, which is next on the needles, probably some more baby socks. I want to finish these and start some other ones. I have a few other scraps that I want to knit up. And of course the cup cozy for my mom. Those socks, finishing the cowl, finishing the mittens. I don't really know. I mean, obviously sweaters. So that's probably the biggest thing, will be some more sweaters. And yeah, that's it for on the horizon. From the mainland, no, we did from the mainland. Sorry, my show notes are out of order. From my Halle, that's it. From my Halle, well, a bit about me. We are moving, my husband and I. They are raising the rent on our place, and so we decided to move to a place we could more comfortably afford. And we found a place, and everything is all set, which is great because we thought there was a time being there where there might have been some issues, but we got it all figured out. Let me move the screen up a little, just a tad. Oh, there we go. Sorry. And so we'll be moving on the 15th of January, so it's in 2.5 weeks. So we will be ferociously packing and heading over there. It's a lovely little apartment, and it's got a fireplace, which I'm really excited about, and a dishwasher, which we're both really excited about. And yeah, it's a little smaller than our current place, but that'll be good. It was interesting when we got married. The place we were going to move into, which was the place my husband was living, got robbed a couple times by someone who had keys to the apartment. We won't go into that. Anyway, we decided we were out of there. Luckily, the realty company was really nice, and they let us break the lease without charging us anything, and so we found the place we're in now, which was great. But now we always have to move in the middle of winter. So the next place we've signed a longer lease, so we won't have to move in the middle of winter again. Well, at least not next time. And yeah, it was interesting because we moved 2 apartments into one. I actually lived about 2 blocks north, and he lived like a couple miles south. And so we have a lot of doubles of things, duplicates of things. I mean, I know this happens when you get married anyway, or when you move in with someone, and so we had to move really quickly last time, and so we didn't get a chance to go through everything. So this time I'm really excited that we'll get more of a chance to go through things and pack things ourselves rather than having everyone else pack things for us. So that'll be really exciting. We're really looking forward to the new place. It's got a lot more sunlight, so hopefully recording during the day won't be so bad. Yes, and also the days are getting longer now, so the sun doesn't set at 4 anymore. It's a little after 4 now, so it's starting to get darker outside. And with that, I will let you go because I'm noticing that it's getting a bit long, and I need to do some tidying up before I go pick my husband up from work. So thanks for joining me today, and I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you next week. Hopefully I'll be back on my normal recording schedule soon. Sorry, everything got thrown off due to random events. And so thanks for putting up with me. And hopefully I'll be on iTunes soon. My friend is working on it, and he's ran into a couple little snags, but hopefully we will get that worked out soon, and everything will be up and running. So thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys next week. Bye!